Mirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rūpa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamniti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gautushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. We're studying Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, on chapter 3 now, which talks about eligibility to enter into pure devotional service. So we discussed about whether renunciation is a prerequisite, whether knowledge is a prerequisite. We discussed about 3 types of Vaishnavas, Uttama Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Kanishta Adhikari, right? And then we discussed about 4 kinds of pious people who approach Krishna. So those 4 kinds of pious people mentioned in Bhagavad Gita who approach Krishna, are they actually approaching Krishna for pure devotional service? No, they don't. Right. So that's why they are not eligible for pure devotional service. However, they can become eligible if they come in contact with a pure devotee of Krishna. Right? Isn't it? They can become eligible. So we'll continue reading from where we stopped reading. Lord Krishna, however, has explained in the Gita that out of these 4 types of neophytes, the one who is wise is very dear to him. Because a wise man, if he is attached to Krishna, is not seeking an exchange of material benefits. A wise man who becomes attached to Krishna does not want any return from him, either in the form of his relieving his distress or in gaining money. This means that from the very beginning, his basic principle of attachment to Krishna is more or less love. Furthermore, due to his wisdom and study of Shastras, scriptures, he can also understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, out of those 4 pious people, types of pious people, one is Jnani, and that person approaches Krishna because of knowledge. Of course, that person does not have pure love for Krishna, but that person has some love for Krishna. And that love is based on knowledge, because that person knows certainly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why Krishna is the object of our love. And that person does not seek an exchange of material benefits, does not want material benefits in return. Right? Next paragraph. Gunagrahika improvement.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that after many births, when one becomes actually wise, he surrenders unto Vasudeva, knowing perfectly well that Krishna, Vasudeva, is the origin and cause of all causes. Therefore, he sticks to the lotus feet of Krishna and gradually develops love for him. Although such a wise man is very dear to Lord Krishna, the others are also accepted as very magnanimous, because even though they are distressed or in need of money, they have come to Krishna for satisfaction. Thus, they are accepted as liberal, broad-minded Mahatmas. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Correct. Next paragraph. Gita Damyakeshwari.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone. Without being elevated to the position of Jnani or wise man, one cannot stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The less intelligent are those whose intelligence has been taken away by the spell of Maya or attached to different demigods on account of the influence of the modes of material nature. The wise man is he who has thoroughly understood that he is spirit soul and not simply a body, because he realizes that he is spirit and Krishna is the supreme spirit. He knows that his intimate relationship should be with Krishna, not with this body. The distressed and the man in want of money or in the material concept of life, because distress and need of money are both in relationship with this body. One who is inquisitive may be a little above the distressed and the man in need of money, but still he is on the material platform. But a wise man who, it has to be moved, Prabhuji. But a wise man who seeks Krishna knows perfectly well that he is spirit soul or Brahman, and that Krishna is the supreme spirit soul or Parabrahman. He knows that the spirit soul, being subordinate and finite, should always dovetail himself with the infinite and supreme soul Krishna. That is the relationship of the wise man with Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Next paragraph. Vishwapati Mukhamitra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. It can be concluded that a person who is freed from the bodily concept of life is an eligible candidate for pure devotional service. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that after Brahman realization, when one is freed from material anxieties and can see every living entity on an equal level, he is eligible to enter into devotional service.
So these are all explanations given from Bhagavad Gita. You know? Everything is basically being quoted verbatim from Bhagavad Gita. Next. As stated before, there are three kinds of happiness. Shravani Matar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. As stated before, there are three kinds of happiness: material, spiritual, and devotional. Devotional service and the happiness due to its execution are not possible as long as one is materially affected. If someone has desire for material enjoyment or for becoming one with the Supreme, these are both considered material concepts, because the impersonalist cannot appreciate the spiritual happiness of association and the exchange of loving affairs with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their ultimate goal is to become one with the Lord. This concept is simply an extension of the material idea. In the material world, everyone is trying to be the topmost headman among all his fellow men or neighbors. Either communally, socially, or nationally, everyone is competing to be greater than all others in the material concept of life. This greatness can be extended to the unlimited, so that one actually wants to become one with the greatest of all, the Supreme Lord. This is also a material concept, although maybe a little more advanced. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Next paragraph. Anit Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. However, the perfect spiritual concept of life is complete knowledge of one's constitutional position, in which one knows enough to dovetail himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. One must know that he is finite and that the Lord is infinite. Thus, it is not possible to actually become one with the Lord, even if one aspires for this. It is simply not possible. Therefore, anyone who has any desire or aspiration for satisfying his senses by becoming more and more important, either in the material sense or in the spiritual sense, cannot actually relish the really sweet taste of devotional service. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī has therefore compared possessing these bhukti, material, and mukti, liberation, desires, with being influenced by the black art of a witch. In both cases, one is in trouble. Bhukti means material enjoyment, and mukti means to become freed from material anxiety and to become one with the Lord. These desires are compared to being haunted by ghosts and witches, because while these aspirations for material enjoyment or spiritual oneness with Supreme remain, no one can relish the actual transcendental taste of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. As long as these two things, which are mukti and bhukti, they remain, then it's difficult to relish the transcendental taste of devotional service. Next paragraph. A pure devotee never cares for liberation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to Krishna, "My dear son of Nanda, I do not want any material happiness in the shape of many followers, nor immense opulence and wealth, nor any beautiful wife, nor do I want cessation from material existence. I may take many births one after another, but what I pray from you is that my devotion unto you may always remain unflinching." Right? So no desire for something in this world and no desire to get out of this world. The desire is, in whatever situation you have kept me, Krishna, I want to render service to you. I want to render seva to you. Like that. No bhakti, no mukti. Next paragraph. Lalita Prishta Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhamma Pranam Prabhuji. The attention of a pure devotee is so much attracted to glorification of the Lord pastimes, name, qualities, forms, etc., that the devotee does not care for mukti. Sri Bilva Mangala Thakur has said, "If I am engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Lord, then very easily can I perceive your presence everywhere. And as far as liberation is concerned, I think liberation stands at my door with folded hands, waiting to serve me." To pure devotees, therefore, liberation and spiritual emancipation are not very important things. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
I'm sorry. Though a devotee does not want material enjoyment or liberation from material life, the nature of bhakti is that it brings both. It brings liberation also, and it brings material happiness also. It comes as a byproduct. Though a devotee does not want, like here Balva Mangal Thakur is saying, that mukti or liberation is standing at my doorstep with folded hands, waiting to serve me, accept me, accept me. Same way, bhakti is also always waiting to serve a devotee. But then devotees are not interested in that. Why they are not interested in that? Because of their bhav, their mood of service, attitude of service. 2 days ago, I was reading a quote by Srimad Gosvāmī Maharaj. So he was explaining that most of the people in this world, they are interested in their personal happiness. How can I be happy? Everything they do is revolving around this pursuit, personal happiness, my own happiness. All the relationships, all the things they do, all the pain they take, it's for what? My happiness. Says there are very few people in this world who think less about their happiness and think more about others' happiness. So he says such personalities are to be known as great personalities. They are Mahat. And then he says, then there are people who hardly think about their own happiness. I mean, they almost negligible. They don't think at all about their happiness. So he says they are to be known as Sumahat, more great or very great personalities. And then he says there is third category where there are people who sacrifice their happiness for the sake of others' happiness. And that other person is Krishna. Says such people who sacrifice their happiness for the sake of others' happiness, and that other person is Krishna, they are known as Param Mahat, supremely great. And then it says, such are the gopis of Vrindavan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come down to teach that mood of seva. That's why his teaching is what? We should not be interested in mukti or bhakti. We should be interested in giving seva to Krishna. Right? So that is his specific, approach to Krishna consciousness or bhakti. Next paragraph. Pankaj.
In this, Hare Krishna Prabhu, in this connection, in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 25, verse 36, Kapila Dev has advised his mother, Devahuti, as follows. My dear mother, my pure devotees are charmed by seeing my different forms, the beauty of my face, the structure of my body, so enchanting. My laughing, my pastimes, and my glance appears to them so beautiful that their minds are always absorbed in thoughts of me, and their lives are dedicated fully unto me. Although such a people do not desire any kind of liberation or any kind of material happiness, still I gave them a place among my associates in the supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
So though they don't want such thing, Krishna gives them liberation. He gives them Salokya Mukti. Salokya Mukti means living in the same planet as Krishna. Also they get Samipya. They can be very close to Krishna. Krishna gives them all those opulences by himself. Next paragraph. Then in English.
Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam. This evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam gives assurance to the pure devotee of being elevated to association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī remarks in this connection that one who is actually attracted by the beauty of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna or his service, and whose heart by such attraction is always full with transcendental bliss, will naturally never aspire after the liberation which is so valuable to the impersonalists. Hare Krishna. Should I?
Next paragraph, Sri, please. Sadharanam.
A similar passage is also there in the third canto, fourth chapter, verse 15 of the same book, wherein Uddhava addresses Lord Krishna and says, My dear Lord, for persons who are engaged in your transcendental loving service, There is nothing worth obtaining from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Although happiness from these different sources can be very easily had by them. In spite of such facilities, my dear Lord, I do not aspire to achieve any such results. My only prayer is that I may have unflinching faith and devotion onto your lotus feet.
Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. A similar passage appears in the third canto, 25th chapter, verse 34, wherein Kapil Dev instructs his mother and says, "My dear mother, devotees whose hearts are always filled in the service of my lotus feet and who are prepared to do anything for my satisfaction, especially those fortunate devotees who assemble together to understand my qualities, pastimes, and form, and thus glorify me congregationally and derive transcendental pleasure therefrom, never desire to become one with me, and what to speak of becoming one with me. If they are offered a post like mine in my abode, or opulence like mine, or even personal association with me with similar bodily features, they refuse to accept because they are satisfied simply by being engaged in my devotional service. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Next paragraph. Dandi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. Hare Krishna to all. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 9th chapter, verse 10, King Dhruva says, "My dear Lord, the transcendental pleasure derived by meditation upon your lotus feet, which is enjoyed by the pure devotees, cannot be approached by the transcendental pleasure derived by the impersonalist through self-realization. So how can the fruitive workers who at most can aspire to promotion to the higher heavenly planets understand you, and how can they be described as enjoying a happiness similar to the devotee's happiness?" Hare Krishna.
Yes. So this chapter ends here. In conclusion, the only qualification to begin devotional service is devotee's mercy. Second, the qualification to advance in Vaidhi sadhana bhakti is we should have knowledge and faith in the scriptures. Knowledge of scriptures and faith in the scriptures. And third, the qualification to practice pure devotional service is liberation from bodily concept of life. Characterized by that we should not have or we should abandon all material desires, especially the desire for liberation. And endeavor or put efforts only to please Krishna. Okay, so any questions or comments?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
So in the process of the performing devotional service, we aspire to get rid of these feeling of happiness or distress. Is it something? But we cannot get rid of that kind of a feeling, no, Prabhuji. We feel happy and we feel sad when things don't go in the way in which we want to. So
Yeah,
even though I am sad in a situation, my service to Krishna should be happy, you mean to say. Like that we should think, or devotional service itself meaning happiness.
So we should know one thing, that pure devotional service is also practiced at different levels. If we can be a Kanishta Adhikari practicing pure devotee. We can be a Madhyam Adhikari practicing pure devotee, or we can be an Uttam Adhikari practicing pure devotee. First thing is that our understanding of the subject matter. Is it clear? Second thing is that what all material desires I have. Do I have material desires? And third thing is, do I want to get rid of them? If yes, if I want to get rid of them, and at the same time I want to pursue devotional service the way it is being taught by our acharyas, then I am practicing pure devotional service. But depending on the level of faith I have and knowledge I have, I might be a Kanishta, Madhyama, or an Uttama. So here it's not the point of being happy or being sad, that you cannot have a check upon or control over. Based on our consciousness, we will be happy or will be sad. That is natural. So it doesn't mean that if I'm pursuing pure devotional service, I should not be happy, I should be miserable, I should be suffering. No. Right? So first thing is understanding. Second thing is to what level I can practice. That's all. Yes, any other question?
Hare Krishna,
No?
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, here in the last paragraph, when Dhruva Maharaj was saying, in that that line came that meditation upon your lotus feet, which is enjoyed by the pure devotees. So could you please elaborate what is the exact meaning of meditation upon your lotus feet? I mean the Lord's lotus feet, literally meaning.
Meditation on Lord's lotus feet can be done in many ways. One is you actually meditate on the lotus feet of the deities. The other is that you meditate on your seva to the deity. It is also meditation on the lotus feet of the deity.
I mean, whatever service we are doing, we are trying to do, right?
Yeah, then we are meditating Krishna, because Krishna is non-different from Krishna's body, Krishna's hands, Krishna's legs, Krishna's feet, Krishna's eyes. So Krishna's seva is non-different from Krishna. In that way, if I'm meditating on Krishna's seva, I'm meditating on Krishna. But yes, one thing is we meditate on the deity of Krishna, lotus feet of the deities of Krishna. Look at the lotus feet of Krishna's deities. That's also meditation. Or you have a painting or picture in front of you, then you can look at Krishna's lotus feet. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other question? Those who have hands up, is it for question or is it for reading? Hands up. Divya Vishwambar Prabhu, reading question?
Hare Krishna, Bro, just wanted to check in this passage we are discussing about where it is telling that my qualities and pastimes and form thus glorify my congregational and direct transcendental pleasure therefrom. Never decide to become one with me. As a devotee, as we know the 5 types of mukti, in this was 5 types of mukti, it has been told that the devotees never likes to become one with the Krishna. But it has been told also, and what to speak not one with me, if they offer to post like mine in my abode or opulence like me, or even personal association with me with similar body features, they refuse to accept. How to understand this? So as a devotee, we should not think even not to be, have an association with the Lordship in the his personal abode. How do we want to understand what type of mukti we have to meditate, or where to stop on our think of our muktis? I mean, muktis to be kept, or how to proceed with this devotional service, where to reach, how we can you put some light on this, bro?
Okay. So here it's not being mentioned that you should not aspire to go back to God. But the purpose to go back to God should not be frustration from material world. I mean, we should want to go back to God, but why? So that we can go there and serve Krishna. But not that we are trying to escape from material world. So if I am trying to escape from material world, then I am looking for mukti, liberation from material problems. Right? So it's basically the intention. Why? So if I am coming to Krishna consciousness with the intention, are a life so many full of problems, then I'm a person who is interested in liberation. I don't want problems in life. So I want to take to Krishna consciousness. So, but then slowly, initially one may have that attitude or reason, but then slowly that person can change it, because once you start practicing Krishna consciousness anyway, your aspirations change, your life changes. So then you can change your thought pattern that now why should I be a devotee? Not because I want to be free from problems in life, but I want to actually please Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. And if for service to Krishna, I am required to stay here, I'll stay here. If for service to Krishna, I'm asked to go to Goloka, I'll go there. My purpose is to serve. So for seva, I'll be always available anyway. That's the point. It's not that, oh, if you go to Golok Vrindavan, will not be happy there. I didn't want to come. Nothing like that. If you go there, we'll be happy there also. If you don't go there, then also we'll be happy. Because the ultimate point is, I should get a chance to serve Krishna. So that's the thing. So we do desire to go there. We do want to go there. But then not be just because I am hating this material world, hating material life. No. Because my hatred towards material life is because my material desires are not getting fulfilled. Let's say if my material desires start getting fulfilled, then I'll be very happy in this material world. Then I won't want to go back to God. Right? So that's the point.
Thank you.
That's why we should always ask ourselves this question: am I accepting Krishna consciousness in this particular situation of my life, or am I accepting Krishna consciousness in all situations of my life? If I'm accepting only in this situation, situations are going to change. Right? Isn't it? So, am I accepting Krishna consciousness in all situations in life? Then
But
I'm like a...
I heard a class that we always want to pray to Krishna to be asked for the favorable situation to do Krishna conscious. How do we relate this?
Yeah, that is true. We do ask for that because we know that we are not so strong devotees. If very unfavorable situation comes, then our faith will get shaken. We may get distracted. But then personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, they are not asking for such things. Isn't it? Personalities like Kunti Maharani are not asking for such things because they have unshakable faith. Yeah. So, but our situation is different. So that's why we chant Ashringa Kavacha. You know, uh, see, because we want situations not very difficult, not very bad. However, we should always ask ourselves this question that will I practice Krishna consciousness in all situations in my life? Yes or no? If yes, then I am a fit candidate for pure devotional service. Right? And that is very important. Like, we should think about it. What will happen if, let's say, just giving an example, if a brahmachari is there, what will happen if I'm not able to stay brahmachari? Will I give up Krishna consciousness? Or if someone is a very famous preacher, what if my fame goes away? Will I still continue Krishna consciousness? Right? Isn't it? If someone is married, husband, wife, what if my wife dies or my husband dies and I'm all alone, left alone? Will I still practice Krishna consciousness? Well, like that, we should think in what situations, we will always. So if that faith is there in any situation I'm going to do, then we are fit candidates for pure devotional service to Krishna. Okay. Uma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, I wanted to clarify a sentence in chapter 3. It says that without being elevated to the position of a jnani or wise man, one cannot stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What does it mean, Prabhu?
Without being elevated to?
Without being elevated to the position of jnani or wise man. What is the meaning of this?
So jnani or wise man means one who is in knowledge of the self, Atmano, Gyan, who knows spirit soul, who knows that there is a super soul. Without this knowledge, one cannot actually worship Lord Krishna. Because then such a person's sentiment will be, Krishna is also an ordinary human being. Until unless there is knowledge of Atma and Paramatma, Krishna's supremacy cannot be understood. So Jnani means one who has such knowledge of the scriptures. And that's why that person understands Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I should worship Krishna.
Okay.
He's the God of all gods.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Neha Mataji. You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Continuing with the question that we have to ask the question whether I will continue, even if my situation changes, if I will continue with Krishna consciousness, or if I put it differently, if I have come into Krishna consciousness due to such a situation, then which category do we fall in?
No, it's okay. You can come to Krishna consciousness due to any situation. That's not a problem. Not that we'll always come to Krishna consciousness as a pure devotee. We can come in any situation. We can be a distressed person. We can be in want of money. We can be in want of anything else. That's okay. But then we can also elevate ourselves from that position to the position of a knowledgeable person, that I should practice Krishna consciousness, not because I was suffering, I want money, I want this, I want that, because Krishna is God and I should worship Krishna. Right? My intention should change. And that does change. If we are studying the scriptures regularly, hearing lectures on Krishna consciousness, our intentions will change. If we stop the process of hearing and studying, then we will remain the way we are. Right? And slowly, slowly, our intentions will change.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Like initially, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we may like everything in Krishna consciousness. We may like the devotees, we may like the Mahaprasadam, we may like chanting Hare Krishna, we may like Kirtan, we may like the classes, we may like everything. But in due course of time, sometimes you may not like these things. And if I'm able to continue to practice Krishna consciousness, even if I don't like them, these activities, that means my faith is steady. But if, oh, now I don't feel like chanting, I'll stop chanting. I have chanted for 2 years now, and I don't feel like chanting anymore. Now I'll stop chanting. Then that is not strong faith. And that person was on a mental platform, right? Like some people are there, right? They have mood swings. So, okay, now I feel like doing this. And then I don't feel like doing this. You know? So a person who has understood, that person will not be like this. Even if I don't feel like doing it, but that's what I should be doing. There's nothing else. There's no other option. How can I give up Krishna consciousness? Even if I'm in hell, this is the only way to come out of hell. Right? So that understanding develops, it comes. Then you don't want to leave it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anything else? That's why sometimes Krishna does this trick with us also. Like you may come to Krishna because you have health crisis. And instead of improving your health, Krishna will make it more worse. Just to check whether you'll continue Krishna consciousness or you'll leave it. So now you came to Krishna because your health is bad. Krishna made it worse. So if your faith is on pure devotional service, you will not leave Krishna consciousness. But if your faith is not there, then why should I practice Krishna consciousness? My situation has become worse than before. Right? So like that, Krishna will send some tests like that, small tests. And then a devotee who is sincere passes such tests. And that way that person becomes eligible for pure devotion. Okay, so we take a quick break. Vrindarani.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you just said that we should continue with Krishna consciousness even if we don't like to do these activities because of knowledge. But what if in the same time, if for a long time there are no any mellows, it could be a sign that we are doing something wrong. How can we distinguish?
I'm not able to get it. Can you repeat, please?
You said that we should continue with Krishna consciousness even if we don't like it. But if for a long time there are not any mellows, any not nice feelings because of our practice, it could be a sign that we are doing something wrong, that we are on a wrong way.
Yeah, that is true. Correct. So if it is a chronic problem, I'm not liking Krishna consciousness for a long period of time, then I have to I have to look at my own approach. But if I'm liking some days, I'm not liking some days. I'm enthusiastic some days, I'm not enthusiastic some days. There are ups and there are downs both together. Then It's okay. No problem. Part of the process. Right. Because in Madhurya Kadambani, Śrīla Vishwanath Thakur mentions that there is this phase in the life of a sadhaka when there are ups and downs both. Like mood swings are there. Today I'm very happy as a devotee. Tomorrow I'm not very happy, not happy at all as a devotee. So a devotee should know it's a part of the phase, progressive phase. But if one is miserable for a very long period of time, that means then my approach is wrong. Maybe I'm committing lots of Vaishnava aparadh, or I'm not doing my sadhana properly. Right? Isn't it? Or there is something which is disturbing me and I'm not looking into it. Material problems also sometimes. I'm not taking care of it. Some situation, something. So my mind is completely into it and spaced out in Krishna consciousness. So, and even fulfillment, non-fulfillment of necessary material desires can lead to frustration, chronic frustration. I'd like to give an example of a woman who is young and who is looking for a life partner, but is not getting it. And is a devotee. So now this is something which is a necessity. You cannot deny it. So then, yeah, she may be actually frustrated for a long period of time in Krishna consciousness. Possible. No. So then also we have to look at, are there some material desires that I have which I must fulfill and I'm not trying to fulfill, I'm not getting chance to fulfill them, because of which I am suffering or, I'm miserable in life. Like that. Okay. Umapati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, in pure devotional service, understandably, we go through a lot of challenges. We may not be up to the mark, and quite obviously we understand, and then we tend to improve it. Also, in material life, we go through a lot of challenges, and these challenges are not necessarily short term. And very often we feel so frustrated with the material life and things don't seem to improve. And to add to the misery, we also realize that the devotional service is also not up to the mark. And it has a cascading effect. I feel that, whether we concentrate more on material life, then concentrate, resolve the material issues, and then concentrate on devotion, or vice versa. But what happens if both the things are in a mess, and you realize that devotion is not up to the mark, and likewise material issues tend to make it even more difficult. And if this thing continues, is it right to expect or hope that Lord Krishna will give us some mercy somewhere, sometime, to resolve at least one of them or both of them, Prabhuji? Is that a expectation or a hope or a prayer that devotees should have?
Yeah, why not? If our material situation is so bad that it is affecting our Krishna consciousness, then we should pray to Krishna to take us out of that material situation. Because ultimately we are praying for that so that I can become a better devotee. Or I can practice Krishna consciousness nicely. Right. At the end of the day, what hurts me the most? That's what we should see. At the end of the day, my material situations not being good hurts my material sentiments, or it hurts my spiritual sentiments, that because I'm in such a bad situation now, I'm not able to practice Krishna consciousness. Oh, I'm so sorry. So if that is the reason I'm sad, then I'm not being a good devotee. Then if I pray to Krishna for help, nothing wrong in it. Nothing wrong in it. Right? And we should not just only pray to Krishna. We should also try to find out some practical solution to our problem. In such situations when things are very bad, we should also, if required, consult the good astrologer, and speak to the astrologer and try to understand why in my life this particular time period is coming, what's wrong, you know. So the astrologer may not be always be able to give you a good solution, but the astrologer may at least tell you that this time will continue for 2 more years, 3 more years, or it's just for 6 months now. So what happens is that the mind becomes prepared. Otherwise, the mind is always in a state of confusion. Will this go on forever, or will this stop? You know, when the mind is in this state of confusion, will this go on forever? Then you become almost like a, you know, a walking dead person, because your mind is so engrossed in such negativity, right? You don't feel like doing anything. But when you get some hope, okay, this is going to continue just for 3 years more. After 3 years, things will be better. So the mind is like, okay, 3 years, not forever. Fine, no problem. Now let me make plans for next 3 years. So there are such measures that we should take, or we can take, which can help our mind become little relaxed. Right? Then we can practice our Krishna consciousness more peacefully. Very important to take consultation from a good astrologer in such situations in life, because you may never know that your planets are playing a good game with you now. Right? You may not know. The planets might be playing a good game with you now.
Yes. Yes.
So if you get to know, then you'll be like, okay, that's the cause of the problem. That's the thing. Once you know the cause of the problem, then you can also work towards the solution.
Yes, true.
Right?
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, now we have a good understanding about, say, pure devotional service, and you don't need anything materially. But what happens when you're staying in a joint family and you're not interested in certain discussions, you don't want to participate, but they want you to participate and sort of be part of those decisions and discussions. So Prabhuji, I'm really confused whether I should absolutely not participate and
Why? You should participate, and you should give Krishna conscious perspective on such situations.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Anything in life, you can always look it through the lens of Krishna consciousness.
Like Prabhuji, the house where I'm staying needs to be reconstructed, and my brother-in-law and all are also coming back. So what happens? I think getting into that discussion is just wasting my time. I'm not able to
No, it's so. Mataji, it depends like how much you get into the discussion. You can choose to be in the discussion for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 hours or 4 hours or 2 weeks. That's up to you.
Okay.
Avoiding the discussion may be difficult, but how long you want to be in the discussion, that's your choice.
And maybe where I can give professional input or something there.
You
and
give
put
your
just-
input and then you stand up and go.
And they want to accept, not accept, that's their problem, I
That's
think.
their problem.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you for your
Yeah.
guidance. Very confused and I was very disturbed also.
It's very
So,
simple, like for example, you go for dinner, your family is going for dinner, and then you go out with them, and then you are not going to eat anything, but they are going to eat. Let's say I'm explaining a situation. You are not going to eat and they are going to eat. And then they ask you that what should we order? So you tell, okay, I feel you should order idli sambar. And they say, no, we don't want to order idli sambar. We want to order something else. Then you say, then that's your choice. Finish discussion, khatam. Now, why to continue talking about it?
okay.
So you need not run away from such situations. At the same time, you need not indulge in such situations.
Yeah,
You
generally
give
when
your
you
Krishna,
when
you
I
give
go
your
in,
Krishna,
yeah,
yeah, you give your inputs based on your Krishna conscious intelligence, and then keep quiet.
yeah, that's what I feel. What I'm speaking is basically Lord Krishna is guiding me, that this is the
Yeah.
advice I should give them.
Then you give
And,
advice.
and even Kartik
Give-
month, I don't eat outside, Prabhuji. I just say I'm on fast or something. I do speak lies what to do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, very nice. No problem.
Yeah.
That's not a lie. It's okay. It's not a lie.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your input.
Oh, the Krishna, the way with this. Lalita Prishna Gopi.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. There is one paragraph saying that can be concluded a person who is freed from a bodily concept, eligible for the candidate for pure devotional service, and saying that also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, after Brahman realization, one is blah blah eligible to enter into pure devotional service. So it seems a long way to go. So here in this bodily conception, does that mean that we always see see ourselves, see we are living jiva, we are soul, and also see super soul in ourselves. Always see Krishna is with us, and just how I'm just wondering how to Krishna lies every aspect of my life. How to structuralize this point. For example, maybe I'm just thinking, I just check all my relationships. Do I see this family members' relationship, or can I see Krishna? Can I see Krishna's arrangement in this relationship? So I just want to connect each point of my life with Krishna, so that I can do more practice of this. As you say, accept all situations in life. So I don't know. So another question is that, so for example, I feel that sometimes I still feel that I want to become more important, even in a group, maybe even if in Krishna consciousness group. So how should I clear such kind of attitude or consciousness? Because sometimes I feel it's hard. Sometimes it appears again. I feel that I feel maybe not comfortable if I stand. I'm not so important in some group. Yeah. So this is the second question. Hare Krishna.
There are different kinds of material desires that we may come across inside us in different phases of life. So we can't get rid of all material desires at once. They will go one by one. They'll go away one by one. So as soon as they come, we need to identify them and need to start working on them. With Krishna's help, we will overcome them. Just like, you are farming. So you go on day 1, sow the seed. Go on day 2, you'll see a small sprout. Go on day 3, then you'll see some leaves coming out, right? You go on day 4, then you see an unwanted weed also coming out. So when you see that unwanted weed coming out, what do? You immediately pluck it out. But does it mean once you plucked it out, no other weed will come out? No, after a few days, another weed may come out. So it's an ongoing thing. Not that today I am free from all material desires, tomorrow no material desire will come in. Tomorrow another kind of desire may come in. So practicing pure devotional service means I'm always weeding out those desires. Right? And the good thing is that if you're conscious of such desires, that's nice. Then only can you weed them out. For some people, they are not even conscious of their material desires. So how they can then weed them out? They cannot. Right? So the first thing is that one should be conscious of such material desires. And then one should weed them out. Right? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Babaji.
Fine, thank you. Another question. It's told that when someone in the family passes away, you stop performing devotional service for 13 days. What is the Krishna conscious perspective on this custom? We should not ever stop practicing Krishna consciousness. We should always practice Krishna consciousness. In fact, someone passes away, you should practice more. Right? For the benefit of that soul, for the benefit of everyone around, we should practice more chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita. So this is wrong understanding. We should practice Krishna consciousness. Fine. Now it is 2:10. Do you want me to start the new chapter today? Or we start next class?
Next class, Prabhuji.
Next class.
Next class.
Next class.
Next class.
Next.
Everyone is in Diwali mood.
Diwali mood.
Diwali mood. Huh? Okay, next class. Fine. But from next class, we'll not take any break. We will be always on. Maybe one weekend when I'm again going to Vrindavan might be difficult for me. Otherwise, so we'll complete it. By December end, we should complete it. All right then, but you can do the reading of the next chapter, chapter number 4. Okay? Chalo, all right. Very happy today you got off early. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Have a nice Diwali weekend. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Diwali.